Today on Rappler.
Yung aking waiver po, hindi ko na po iintayin yung waiver ng 189. I'm submitting this without any conditions whatsoever.
Chief Justice Renato Corona gives the Senate his waiver to open his bank accounts without conditions, but it may be an empty gesture.
Doon po sa 2.4 million, doon po sa apat na account na sinabi niya. Lahat na po yung apat na account combined, that amounts to 2.4 million.
More or less po.
Am I
yes.
correct?
Opo.
Alright. Doon po sa peso account niya, you said you only have 3 peso accounts. Can you give us a figure,
Opo.
Mr. Chief Justice?
Ang kwento ko po mga humigit kumulang mga 80 million pesos.
Corona admits he has $2.4 million in foreign accounts and 80 million in peso deposits.
Hinahamon niyo pa rin si Ombudsman Morales
Mag-resign?
na mag-resign?
Opo.
Kayo po, hindi ho kayo magre-resign?
Hindi po.
Corona admits he has $2.4 million in foreign accounts and 80 million in peso deposits. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. It has been an incredible week. Chief Justice Renato Corona faces the impeachment court Friday. He appears weak, needs assistance, a stark contrast to his earlier demeanor. Corona apologizes to the court for unceremoniously leaving it Tuesday, claiming he was, quote, in a total state of confusion due to his low blood sugar.
I have to admit with all candor and honesty, nagbabaliktad po yung aking sigmura sa nervyos. Kayo na po ang bahalang magpatawad sa akin.
The prosecution also tells the court it will not conduct a cross-examination of the Chief Justice.
Honesty, nagbabalik nervyos.
After his apology, Corona sets the tone of his appearance with this gesture of goodwill.
Particularly with respect.
Bago po tayo magsimula sa interpellation, nais ko po sanang isubmitin na po sa kagalang-galang na Juan Ponce Enrile yung aking waiver po. Hindi ko na po iintayin yung waiver ng 189. I'm submitting this without any conditions whatsoever. Yes. May I ask Attorney Chauco to submit it to the Senate President?
Dito, hindi ngayon.
Alam po ninyo, kagalang-galang na mahistrado. Ang problema namin dyan, kahit na may waiver kayo, kaninong witness yung mga pupunta rito?
Opo. Kung mamarapatin po ninyo, siguro pwede naman pong patawag yung mga manager ng bangko.
The senator judges go into caucus to discuss the waiver. Emerging from the meeting, Presiding Officer Juan Ponce Enrile says the court will not subpoena the bank records nor the bank managers.
It's not a producer of evidence. It is a hearer of facts. And so we take note of this waiver, but we cannot subpoena any other person mentioned here, given the fact that we are not supposed to produce evidence for the defense nor for the prosecution. And so that is the position of this court.
That decision turns Corona's push for transparency into nothing more than a symbolic gesture. Back on the stand, Corona talks about the chilling effect of the impeachment on the judiciary and the emotional toll on his family, particularly his grandson. It all starts with a question from Senator Miriam Santiago about the effects of the impeachment trial on the 3 principles of our tripartite democracy.
Number 1, the system of checks and balances. Number 2, the independence of the judiciary. And number 3, the sub judice principle, under which when a case is on trial, that case should not be discussed in public.
pagpapatalsik po ng miyembro po ng Korte Suprema, let alone the Chief Justice, may chilling effect po yan sa Korte Suprema. Kasi mga tao lang rin po naman kami. Kung nalalaman lang po na sana nung mga taong gumawa nito, yung sakit ng loob na dinulot nila sa amin,
Chief Justice, are you all right?
Apo, hindi po. Apo. Yung pangalan ko pong pinangakalagaan po all my life. Tapos tawagin kayong masamang tao, magnanakaw, mandurugas. At noon ko lang po nakita yung aking apo. Noon ko lang po nakita yung aking apo. He clenched his fist and he said, "I am very, very angry." Nagulat po ako kasi for a 9-year-old to say that, yun po ang nararamdaman at pinagdaanan ng aming pamilya.
Mr. Witness, I'm very, very sorry to interrupt, but your answer has not been responsive. My question is, what...
Sorry, Your Honor. I just got carried away emotionally.
Chief Justice Corona tells the impeachment court he only had $2.4 million in his foreign accounts and 80 million in peso deposits.
Did you have $12 million in any or all of your foreign currency accounts?
The answer po is never.
Never
I
did you have?
never at any time had 10, 11, 12 million dollars.
Magkano po yung pinakamalaki?
Ngayon po siguro yung 2.4 na yon.
Doon po sa 2.4 million, doon po sa apat na account na sinabi niya. Lahat na po yung apat na account combined, that amounts to 2.4 million.
More or less po.
Am I
yes.
correct?
Opo.
Alright. Doon po sa peso account niya, you said you only have 3 peso accounts left. Alright. Since hindi na po namin patatawag yung mga bank managers, I will take your word for it, Mr. Chief Justice. Just I know you have an idea of how much do you have in your 3 peso accounts. Can you give us a figure,
Opo.
Mr. Chief Justice?
Ang kwento ko po ay mga humigit kumulang mga 80 million pesos. Ito po ay commingled funds at sinulat ko na nga po rito para hindi ko na malimutan.
Corona explains why he didn't declare his $2.4 million. He says he followed the law imposing strict confidentiality of foreign accounts in good faith. But Senator Francis Pangilinan points out the Constitution requires that public officials declare all assets. Corona says he started investing in foreign exchange even before the Foreign Currency Deposit Act was passed in 1974.
Be a conflict between the SALN law and the FCDU law. Kung biglang sasabihin sa akin ng ninuman, mali ka dapat linagay mo. Sabi ko, ang sasabihin ko naman po, ano yung pagbabasihan ko po naman nun? I relied on the law.
For Pangilinan, the 1987 Constitution is an even later law and it is above all laws. Corona also dares Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales to resign, saying she allowed herself to be used by Malacanang.
Sinasabi niyo mga peso accounts ninyo, yun ba ho ay nailagay niyo po sa inyong SALN?
Teka mo pa, may just continue the listing.
Sige po.
Yun nga pang kay Charina, for her house,
Hinahamon niyo pa rin si Ombudsman Morales
mag-resign.
na mag-resign?
Opo,
Kayo po, hindi ho kayo magre-resign?
hindi po.
With a nudge from Senator Jinggoy Estrada, Corona tells the court about his long-standing animosity with Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales.
Hinahamon niyo pa rin si Ombudsman. According to the Ombudsman, you did not vote for her to be included in the shortlist for the office of the Ombudsman.
Opo.
Why is that so, Mr. Chief Justice?
Kasi po, well, I would like to be honest, siguro, although we were civil to each other,
You were?
although we were civil
Okay.
to each other, alam naman po ninyo, in any, siguro, may undercurrent na po nung distrust. So, nung nag-retire po si former Chief Justice Puno, isa po sa mga contender dyan ay yung pinsan ni Ombudsman Morales, si Justice Antonio Carpio. At siguro doon po nagsimula yun alam ko kakampi siya sa pinsan niya until dumating na nga po yung kanyang retirement. Humihingi po siya ng isang napakalaking budget for retirement. Sabi ko, hindi naman yan yung usual budget ng justice ng retirement ng Justice of the Supreme Court.
Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales says Chief Justice Corona is a certified liar, in her words, after he dares Morales to resign because she's, quote, a pawn of Malacanang. In a phone interview, the Ombudsman denies Corona's accusation. An angry-sounding Morales says, quote, never, never, ever, adding he's the one who allows himself to be used. Morales says, quote, I'm fuming. I am fuming mad. He is a certified liar. On her supposed lobby for a larger retirement fee, Morales says that on the contrary, Corona, quote, reduced it in half. But she claims, I suffered in silence. Morales says in a press conference, you ask me if I have a conscience. Yes, I have a conscience, she says. Quote, I have $1 account, one and one only, Morales fired back. I hope he has a conscience and as clear as mine. Morales reiterates she got the dollar account from the AMLAC. She adds, quote, I did not get it from the gutter. For more details on the feud between Corona and the cousins Ombudsman Morales and Associate Justice Antonio Carpio, visit Rappler.com and read Purple Romero's Corona and Carpio from Friends to Foe. Because of the impeachment trial, the warring relatives Cristina Corona and the Basas reconciled during the impeachment trial Friday. While the trial was on break, Mrs. Corona approaches her relatives in the Senate gallery. Observers clapped when they saw the family in tears and hugging each other. Cristina's daughter Carla followed, resulting in a dramatic family reconciliation. The Basas also approached Chief Justice Corona and hugged him. All this against the backdrop of emotional attacks days earlier and a court battle that spans 3 decades. The family stopped to take a photo. Rappler editor-at-large Marites Vitug says the bottom line is this. The Chief Justice admits he did not declare $2.4 million and 80 million pesos.
Basically, he admitted owning $2.4 million and 80 million pesos, which were not at all declared in the SALN. So he made these admissions, which, but he defended them, saying he's relying on the secrecy law and that the funds are commingled. Again, it's going to be the senators who will weigh if this really should not have been declared.
Vitug adds, revealing his animosity with Ombudsman Morales has no bearing on the case.
But still, it gave us a view into politics in the Supreme Court. Remember that Justice Conchita Carpio Morales was the lone dissenter in the midnight appointment of Chief Justice Corona. Right. She was the only one who dissented.
Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 6, retired oceanographer Curry Ebsmeyer says shoes containing human bones of victims of the 2011 tsunami in Japan may begin washing up on the U.S. West Coast by October 2012. The main mass of debris should start arriving by the last quarter of the year and for the next several years. At number 7, the United States will cut aid to Pakistan by $1 million for each year of imprisonment of a Pakistani doctor who helped the CIA find Osama bin Laden. Dr. Shakil Afridi was tried for treason for running a fake hepatitis B vaccination program that he used to gather intelligence for the CIA. The U.S. Secretary of State says Afridi's jail term is, quote, unjust and unwarranted. At number 8, Facebook comes up with a new app for the iPhone and iPod Touch for taking and sharing photos for posting in Facebook. It includes tools for cropping and straightening photos and offers 15 filters. Facebook's product manager for photos says the app launches fast and, quote, scrolls like butter. Facebook recently purchased Instagram, a mobile photo sharing app, for more than $1 billion. And at number 9, was there or is there life on Mars? New research shows the basic building blocks of life are present on Mars. This means that Mars has been undertaking organic chemistry for most of its history. The research findings allow scientists to move forward in their probe of life beyond Earth. Well, that's Rappler's newscast for today, Friday, May 25, 2012. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.